Alright, hello everybody. This is Dr. Diamond. Wait, okay. Anyways, guys, sorry about that. Hello everybody, this is Dr. Diamond, and welcome back to the Dr. Diamond podcast. And, hopefully tonight, Gareth will actually join us on all the fun, with the fucking the podcast that we're gonna have. We're gonna have a lot of fun here. With Marvel and yeah, that's it. Just the Marvel fucking cinematic universe. Now, I'm gonna fucking put like a huge spoiler warning because I will go as in depth as I can because I've seen all of these movies at least twice. So I'm just gonna tell you guys pretty much the whole thing and what I think about of every single Marvel movie. And another thing, I'm not going in the order, I'm not starting with Iron Man, which, yes, I know Iron Man is the first movie in the very first movie in the MCU. I know that. I'm not an idiot. But I'm just going in viewing order, because if you guys didn't know, there is an order. There's a correct order in which you have to watch Marvel in. Because I was scrolling through Facebook one day. This is probably about, last June or July or some shit. And, I came across, because I'm part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe group on Facebook, and I seen somebody posted on the correct order of movies that you have to watch. To watch the Marvel movies up into Endgame. And a lot of it kind of made sense. One of them has Doctor Strange and then Thor Ragnarok, which makes sense because, spoiler, Thor appears at the end credit scene of Doctor Strange. I think, no, I don't know. See, I haven't seen these movies in, I don't know, a month or two. So my memory's slightly fuzzy on all them movies, but I don't know. So anyways, guys, we're going to start off with number 1. The first movie that's considered the first movie that starts off the MCU, Captain America: The First Avenger, which came out in 2011. And I'm going to tell you guys all the what year each of these ones came out. So, Captain America: The First Avenger is all about Captain America, obviously. Or Steve Rogers, good old Captain America. He's a fucking amazing guy. Chris Evans, he does amazing he does amazing as fucking Chris Evans. He does amazing at Steve Rogers. That's what I was saying. So guys, I couldn't think. Plus, I'm kind of excited because, about 5 or 6 minutes before I started streaming, I was like, "Oh, I'm excited." Oy! I don't know what the fuck that noise was. But anyway, so Captain America: The First Avenger. It's an origin story, obviously, for as most of these movies are, for Captain America. And Captain America starts off, I don't remember the exact height he was. I want to say he was 5'4" or something like that, or 5'3". I know he was really little. Oh no, I think he was 4 foot something. I don't know. I know I'm getting it way wrong. I can't remember. I should have done my research. I should have wrote down a script or some helpful facts, but I didn't because I thought, hey, I'm writing this shit for 23 movies. That would take me forever, and yeah, I know I'm pretty dedicated to this shit, kind of. Well, if I was dedicated, I would have wrote a script. But anyways, so, Yeah, then I think he was 90 pounds, I believe. So, Chris Evans, fucking Steve Rogers, he always wanted to fight in the war. I think this was around World War II. This is when World War II was happening. So it's set in the 1940s. And, which is kind of making me think, when the fuck is World War III coming? It was announced, 3 weeks ago or some shit? Where is World War III? I'm just kidding. If I get drafted, if I stop, posting videos or anything, then that means I'm getting drafted. I fucking hope not, but see, this is another thing why I think I won't get drafted, because I have asthma, and I don't think you can get drafted if you have asthma, because, which is a good segue into, fucking Steve Rogers, or, fucking Captain America, because in the beginning, Steve Rogers was so fucking, he really wanted to serve for his country, but he couldn't because he was too short, and he wasn't too short. No, was he? I think he was too short, and because he had asthma, which is like how my dad was, which is why my dad's not in the army, or however. Actually, I don't think he was too little. I think it was because he had asthma. I'm talking about Steve Rogers, not my dad. Although that is, the other reason. So, Steve Rogers, he had asthma, which I know firsthand exactly how it is. Because I myself have asthma, and it fucking sucks. And I hate it. But anyways, guys, then... So, Captain America, he wanted... Steve Rogers... I keep saying, his hero name, but Steve Rogers, he wanted to go to the war, but he couldn't, he went to a movie. He was watching a war movie, I think. There was, something to do with war. I think it was, like a trailer or something, excuse me, like a teaser or something, or... I can't remember exactly what they're called, but a preview. I think it was a preview, but I don't think it was of a movie. It was just saying think of our soldiers across the sea, and I'm like, and then remember that there was this big, tough, fat guy. He was kind of fat. He kept yelling and being like, "Hey, get to the movie," and then Steve was like, "Hey, why don't you keep it down? Respect our soldiers," that kind of thing. Which, I would have done the same, and then, they go back in the alley, and then Steve gets his fucking ass kicked by this fat kid, fat guy, whatever he is. And then he says his most famous line that he says many times, I could do this all day. That's his most famous, thing. At least in the movies, I don't know. I haven't read the comics, so I don't know shit about the comics. But anyways, so then somebody comes up behind the fat guy and fucking beats him up. Turns out to be good old Bucky Barnes, aka the Winter Soldier, but he's not the Winter Soldier yet. Anyways, Steve and Bucky, they were talking. Bucky was about to be shipped off, I think the next day, or the next few days or something. I can't really remember the exact things, because like I said, it's been 2 months, I think, since I've seen it, a month or two, however long I said before. I think it's been 2 months, actually, thinking about it. But yeah, then Steve and Bucky, they're walking, they're talking. I think they're meeting. I think Bucky had a date, and he arranged another girl to date, or to go on a date with Steve or some shit. And then I think they have this whole dinner scene or some shit. But I don't know. I'm just gonna tell you guys the shit that I remember. Anyways, then fucking Steve, I can't remember exactly how he got into the thing. God, I used to have an amazing memory. But, I think, I remember the most important parts. I think he like snuck into the army or something, or he went onto the army thing, and I think he just like uh fuck, what did he, no, he like faked his profile, because I think it, like he, like Steve put down that he lived somewhere else, which wasn't true. Like he didn't put down Brooklyn, because that's where Steve Rogers is from, is Brooklyn. Because I'll get to the other scene later where he actually tells them, the people, Actually, never mind. I don't know why the fuck I said that. Makes no sense. But anyways, so then Steve was talking to this guy, and then because he got declined before, and then but then this guy was like, no, wait, actually, no, that was no, that was after, because I remember there was a scene where Steve was actually like given a chance or something, and no, I think he was given a chance because this one dude saw potential in him, like as to use as a test subject for the super soldier serum. So, and then when somebody threw a fake grenade, everybody ran, but Steve jumped on the grenade to protect other people instead of, And then that was also the part where he seen Peggy Carter and fell in love with her. And then he got approved for the army. Like, his records, like, he got his records changed around so that he was allowed in. And then there's the scene where this one dude, like, I don't remember his name. I know it was Red Skull, but I don't remember his, like, fake name. I'm pretty sure he had a fake name. But then, the Red Skull guy, before he revealed himself as Red Skull, I think Howard Stark, aka Tony Stark's father, I think he did something with, like, he gave somebody the Tesseract, or he found the Tesseract. No, this was after the movie, I think. So I don't remember all the things with Howard in it. I just remember at the end when he finds the Tesseract in the ocean. And anyways, so God, this might actually be like a long time, because I'm still on the first movie, which is good. It'll stretch out. But anyways, so then you go over to, the whole battle with, or not battle, no. Sorry, I'm going way ahead. No, because then we gotta get to the part where this guy is like, hey, Steve, you wanna do this fucking thing? You wanna do this super soldier serum? And he's like, fuck yeah, man. So he does it, and then he's like, no, turn it up to 100. So then, yeah, this is what Howard actually does it. Like, Howard Stark is the one who's turning him into the super soldier that we all know and love today. And then, he comes out, I think he's like 6 foot something, and like 200 something pounds. He's a big man, he's got abs. And actually, I think a little known fact, I don't know how known it is, I think it's a little known, but the scene where, like, after Steve comes out of the super soldier thing, like the chamber that, like, after he becomes Captain America, after he gets changed, Peggy actually goes to touch his chest, but then she pulls away. That actually was improvised. Like, she wasn't supposed to do that in the original script, but, the directors liked that part so much, because, she was, like, in shock. She was like, holy shit. And then, they just kept it. But then, so, they choose him to be Captain America, because, like, they give him the suit and everything. They give him the Captain America suit, but he starts off as, like, a performer. Before the soldiers go off to war. He actually, did that. And then they shot commercials and shit. I just remember black and white commercials with Captain America just using his shield, his old shield. Not the new one that we all know and love with the star on it, but the first original one. I think it's the original, anyways. But the whole black and white thing, and then the whole thing where he's performing and beating Hitler. But that was for the kids and stuff. But then when he gets to the men, the army men, that was funny because they're like, "Yeah, get back to the women, come on." It was funny. But yeah, and then I think at some point Red Skull actually reveals himself to be Red Skull, and then he fucking just, I don't know, he reveals that he has the Tesseract, and then, fucking Captain America figures it out, and then he goes on top, he goes in the ship, and then he fucking, him and Red Skull fight and beat the shit out of each other. And then Red Skull picks up the Tesseract. And he gets sent off to somewhere in space, which, well, since Infinity War came out, we know that he was sent to Vormir to guard the other Infinity Stone. And then he drops the Tesseract. Obviously, that's where the Space Stone's in. Which is the first time we ever get to see a Infinity Stone. But anyways, the Tesseract burns a hole through the bottom of the of the ship. And Captain America is looking at it like, the fuck is that? So then he just goes and pilots, and then he's like, and then I think he's like, no, yeah, then they're like, sorry, I missed it out of date, and he's like, or something like that, and then they're like, you better not be late this Saturday at I think 7 or 8 or whatever the fuck, and he's like, I'll be there. And then that was his final words. Captain America sadly died. No, I'm just kidding. But then, so that was when Cap was, Cap woke up 70 years in the future in, I believe, 2011, when the movie was made. I believe it was, because, it makes sense. He was trapped there for 70 years, so I think he got frozen in 1941, I believe. It makes sense for 70 years to be 1941 to 2011, which that's obviously 70 years, so hooray. And then at some point, he wakes up, he's in this weird room, and then he hears on the radio, the baseball game that he was actually at, and then a woman comes in, he's like, hey, is everything okay? And he's like, what year is this? And then she's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And he's like, this game, I was there. Now tell me, where are we? Where am I? And then, she doesn't tell him, and then she tells him to calm down. He just fucking breaks a hole in the wall. And then he finds out that he's 70 years in the future. He gets approached by good old Nick Fury, and he's like, Mr. Rogers, we would like you to join the Avengers Initiative, or something like that. I don't remember the exact words he said, but he was pretty much saying, hey, join the Avengers, And then I think, after that whole thing, then that's when, I don't remember the end credit scenes too well. I remember some, but not all of them. I just remember the part where Howard finds the Tesseract and stuff, and now, at this point in time, he has the Tesseract. I know he obviously doesn't, but And then that's Captain America, the First Avenger. Now let's go on to number 2 is Captain Marvel, which obviously you guys know came out in 2019, last year. Not even a year ago, actually, at the time I'm doing this podcast. So, Captain Marvel, a lot of people hated it. I kind of liked it. The only thing that I thought was kind of funny is, how bitchy she is. She's a fucking bitch to everyone. And I just remember the first scene, I think she wakes up or some shit, and she's fighting this guy. She tries to use her power on him, and then he's like, no, don't use her power or something. I can't remember if he was encouraging her to use her power or, telling her to control it. I think he was telling her to control it. But then, she, like, is on this weird alien planet. And then, I don't remember, and then she's, like, fighting the Kree or the Skrulls. No, she is a Kree. She was fighting the Skrulls, and then, some other people. And, she kills all of them or some shit. Something bad happens, and then I think she gets caught. See, I don't remember too much of this, because I didn't really pay too much attention. So then she's fighting the fucking Skrulls and shit. I think she gets captured, and she gets, like, memories all coming back, like that she used to be human or some shit, and she remembers, like, flying planes with her black friend. I don't remember her name. But then, at some point, Kirill just lands on Earth or some shit. I can't remember exactly how. I mean, I liked Captain Marvel, but not enough to really go in depth in it, so. I think she's hot, though. But anyways. I'm just joking. Kind of. But, yeah, then she lands in a Blockbuster, which, ooh, yeah, it's supposed to be the 90s, and Blockbuster was around, ooh. Even though I fucking remember going to Blockbuster a lot of times when I was a child. I remember going there a lot, and it was fun. So it's not even that old, but anyways, so then Captain Marvel, Kirill, I guess, she tries to call her fucking person that she knows. I can't remember any of their names. She tries to call that one guy. Then, she talks to a security guy. Oh, and this is at nighttime, by the way. And then she talks to a security guy. He points to someone in some direction. And then, for some reason, it turns to day. I don't remember what happened with that one. Then she gets approached by Nick Fury and all the fucking people at S.H.I.E.L.D. But this was before S.H.I.E.L.D. was a thing. Like, because they weren't... No, I think this was... No, this was after... No, this is way before they picked the name S.H.I.E.L.D. Like, see, I heard, like, a thing of, like... I think in Iron Man or Iron Man 2, like... Agent Coulson, like, was telling Pepper, like, they couldn't figure out a name. And then by the end of the movie, Coulson actually tells them, we've chosen a name, S.H.I.E.L.D. But then, that was in, like, 2008. But this is supposed to be set in the 90s. And Coulson was saying S.H.I.E.L.D. And it's like, okay, that makes no sense. But anyways, then they were hunting the fucking... There's, I think, one or two Skrulls on Earth, and they're gonna, like, fucking do something. So then, fucking... I just remember Kirill finding, discovering, one of them, and then chasing after him, and then that's when Nick Fury chases them. She's on the bus, she beats the shit out of that old lady. Which turns out to be the fucking Skrull. And, something else happened, I can't fucking remember. And then I remember a scene where Kirill and Nick Fury are in the fucking car and driving somewhere, I can't remember. Something else weird happens, and I think she's in fucking space fighting some people, and she discovers that fucking Marvel, or whatever the fuck her name was, is like evil or some shit, and I don't fucking know. Oh yeah, I forgot, Nick Fury meets a cat named Goose, even though he's a Flarkin, I think is what the name is. He's like a weird alien cat or something, and then they made up this stupid origin why fucking Nick Fury doesn't have his eye. See, because the stupid cat, the alien cat, fucking scratched his fucking eye, which I think is kind of stupid. But yeah, I think that's Captain Marvel in a nutshell. Oh yeah, I forgot, I'm gonna rate these. So Captain America, to me, was like an 8 out of 10. Captain America, he was 8 out of 10. Captain Marvel was like a 4 out of 10. It's pretty average. I liked it a little more than probably most people did, but... on to the next one, Iron Man. The first Iron Man movie. Now, this one started off the whole franchise. It starts off with billionaire... I can't remember if he's a billionaire or a millionaire. I think he's a billionaire. A billionaire, playboy, philanthropist, is that how you say it? I'm a playboy, I'm a millionaire playboy from philanthropy. Fuck, I don't know how the fuck he said it. He's trying to say the thing that he said to Captain America in, like, one movie. I can't remember. I think it was The Avengers. But this is Tony Stark. It starts off him in the desert, driving with army guys. And he's fucking just joking around. He's like, hey, like this one army guy was actually a girl, a chick, and he was like, whoa, I honestly thought that you were a guy this whole time. Which, I thought it was funny. You gotta love fucking Robert Downey Jr. But, yeah, and then some point, like, they hear fire, like, gunshots, and then one army man told him to stay in the car, in the truck, or whatever. But of course he doesn't. He gets out, and then he, like, explosions all around him, and then he gets a piece of shrapnel in his heart. And he's slowly dying, and then he looks over and he sees that the weapons or the things that, like, exploded and got shrapnel in his heart were made by his own company. And he decided, like, when he got back, oh no, fuck happened. Because I remember he went back and he fucking, like, no, I remember he went back and he got all the, like, fucking, hold on, I gotta really think here. What the fuck am I talking about? No, then God, what am I even saying? No, I remember that he said that he was not going to make any more weapons, you know. And, but then again, I think he had gotten, like, his, I think he made, no, I think he was caught, and, no, at some point he was caught, and, to keep him alive, he had a battery car battery, I meant. A battery car, what the fuck? A car battery hooked up to his heart or something to keep the shrapnel from killing him. And so I think, you know, he was, like, locked up in this one fucking thing. And I remember when him and Happy got back somewhere, like, he wanted a cheeseburger or some shit. Then I remember, like, that's a different one. I don't remember exactly how the movies went, but, yeah, then Iron Man, or Tony Stark, I should say, like, he was in a cave, you know, that famous cave scene where he's in there with that one guy, I can't remember his name, and good old Obadiah Stane, he's, like, the evil guy, I guess, and, but yeah, then, Tony and this old guy, I can't remember his name, but, they were supposed to build weapons for the fucking people that captured him. But Tony had this idea to make an Iron Man suit. Like, his very first suit, Mark 1. And then him and the guy fucking built it. And then they built a very small, compact, fucking arc reactor so that he can still stay alive, you know. And he put it in his chest. And that's what activated his very first thing. And then the other guards were getting suspicious. And then, you know, when it was time to fucking kill. And then Tony, like, comes out fucking with rockets and guns and bullets and shit. Just fucking starts shooting them and killing all the guards. And then it turns out that the guy that helped Tony build the thing, like, died at some point. And I'm like, no. I can't remember his name. But then, fucking something else bad happened. Fuck, what else happened? See, I can't even really think too well. But then I think he flew out, and then, like, somehow his Iron Man suit got destroyed or some shit. Cause, I remember I remember the part where he just falls in the desert and his Iron Man suit just tears apart and shit. And he's left there, and then he sees, like, I think a helicopter or a fucking ship or something. Or not a ship, but ships aren't in the middle of the desert, dumbass. No, he sees like a army truck or something, and then good old James Rhodes or Rhodey, War Machine would come. This is played not by Don Cheadle, but by somebody else. But then he comes to the rescue. He gets him back to civilization. I think that's when he asked for the cheeseburger with Happy. But then, Pepper Potts, his assistant at the time, later became his girlfriend or wife. Well, girlfriend and then wife eventually. Then he went on to make the second Iron Man suit, Mark II, and then Mark III, well, the typical Iron Man suit that everybody knows and loves, Mark III. And then he goes back to the place where the people were holding him hostage with Mark III. It was either Mark III or Mark II. I think it was Mark II, actually. And he just fucking kills all the guards that try to kill him. He saved an entire village, and then he went away. And then I just remember him building a ton of suits. And then Obadiah Stane and his men were in the desert, trying to look for the Iron Man suit, and they found his mask, and they found they found all of his parts. So then Obadiah and his team made a bigger Iron Man suit of his first Iron Man suit, so that he can actually fit, and so that he can take his revenge on him. So then at some point they fight at the end. So Iron Man, I don't remember what suit he was in, but Iron Man just fights Obadiah and beats him, and then Obadiah is no longer a villain. I can't remember if he died or if he went to prison or something. Then there's the famous ending scene where Tony was being interviewed by a shit ton of reporters, saying, "Are you the Iron Man?" And then then Tony's like, if I was Iron Man, I would not be the Iron Man or some shit. I can't remember what he said. But then he was like, you know what? I am Iron Man. His famous "I am Iron Man" statement. And then I think all the crowd just goes wild and what? And I think the movie ends there. I don't think so. No, then there's a scene after. Then that's when Coulson finally makes the thing of hey, we're gonna call each other fucking S.H.I.E.L.D. And then Nick Fury. I don't know if that was an Iron Man 1 or 2 where Coulson said that. I think it was 1. It makes sense. But then Nick Fury at some point, at the end of the end credit scene, he comes in, he's like, "Hey, join the Avengers Initiative," and he's like, "No. Get out of my fucking house, you asshole." And anyways, that's the end of Iron Man 1. Then Iron Man 2. Iron Man 2 is about... Yeah, Iron Man, he's got his whole fucking suits just better. He made it better. Then I remember Whiplash at the racing. I think Happy was racing for the Iron Man car, and then there's this Russian guy, I think he was. His name is Whiplash, but I don't remember his other thing or whatever. But then, we're over half hour, and this is only the 4th movie. I might have to do a part 2 or something. Well, no, I'll probably just keep going. Anyway, so then Iron Man, he just comes and fucking tries to save the day. Oh, I forgot to give Iron Man a rating. Iron Man, the first one, gets a 7 out of 10. I loved it. I liked it, actually, is what I meant to say. Anyways, Iron Man 2, then he fucking blanks a suitcase, and then he puts the suitcase on, and he opens it, and then Iron Man suit just comes out, and then he fucking tries to beat him and shit, and then I think, yeah, he ends up winning, and then there you go. I don't remember Iron Man too well, so I think that's literally all I remember, and then I think, Pepper and Tony just start dating and shit, and I don't remember. Oh, and then there was a scene where, like, War Machine, fucking Rhodey, played by Don Cheadle this time, fucking actually comes in and becomes War Machine, finally. Because Tony gives him a suit and shit, you know. He becomes War Machine, finally. Overall, I give Iron Man 2 a 6 out of 10, just because I don't really remember it too well. Next up is Thor. Oh yeah, I forgot. Iron Man came out in 2008. Iron Man 2 came out in 2010. Thor came out in 2011. Now, Thor, the good old god of thunder, he wants to be the king of Asgard. He's about to be the king of Asgard. But, so I don't remember Thor too well. I just remember him, like, landing on Earth after Odin casts him out. Because Thor wanted to hunt down the, who are the Frost Giants. He wanted to hunt them down and kill them, and then Odin's like, no, son, you can't hunt down. A good king doesn't hunt down. A good king doesn't look for a battle. He waits for it to come to him, you know. Which is also kind of revealed that Loki is a fucking Frost Giant. But then for some reason, like when he's mad, he really comes out. But then I don't know why Loki looks more like an Asgardian or a human or whatever. And then Thor was cast out by Odin, and then he lands on Earth. I forgot where. But then Odin has Thor's hammer, and he's like, if anybody's worthy enough, to possess the power of Thor, pretty much telling Thor, giving him a lesson, saying, hey, you gotta be worthy to fucking wield this. Then, I believe, something else happened. Wait. Oh yeah, then fucking, he goes to Earth. Then his hammer falls down in some other location. Which, then cuts to a scene where, like, a lot of people are trying to fucking lift it, but then nobody can lift it. And then good old Stan Lee, may he rest in peace. I love that, man. But, Stan Lee, good cameo. He was in his truck and he tried to pull it, but he couldn't, and then it just ended up breaking the back of his car, his truck. Oh boy! But then, fucking Thor meets Jane Foster, and then the fucking chick who plays fucking Max on Two Broke Girls. I forgot her name. Kat Dennings. I know that's her actual name, but I forgot her. Isn't it like Darcy or something? And then some other guy, I think, was the... Oh yeah, Eric Selvig. Yeah, Eric Selvig was the... I believe her name was Darcy. I'm gonna go with that. I mean, there's nobody watching, so, I mean, there's nobody here to correct me. Surprised that fucking Gareth isn't here again. Oh well. But anyways, so... Yeah, then I remember they're at the diner, and fucking Thor, like, he's like, another! And then he smashes the fucking mug, and he's like, another! And then, push! And then everybody's like, oh, excuse me, and then Jane's like, no, don't do that. She's like, why'd you do that? And he's like, it was good, I want another one. He's like, yeah, but we don't do that here. He's like, well, on my planet we do this. Top of the morning to ya. I don't know why the fuck I said that. But anyways, then... Yeah, then somebody at the diner was talking about the hammer. And then Thor was like, hey, what hammer? Where? And then he's like, I'm off to find my hammer. And then he goes to find the hammer, but then Jane and the other chick fucking try to stop him. Yeah, and then, at some point, like... Kind of skipping a little bit, because I remember the scene where... fucking Loki, well, not Loki, fucking Thor is, like, he finds his hammer, and then he tries to, like, the government has it, And he tries to lift it, and he cries because he's not worthy enough for his hammer. And something bad happens to him. I think he ends up back up on Asgard or some shit. Somehow. Oh yeah, the government takes fucking Jane's, like, personal shit. She's like, that took me a long time to fucking make, dude. It's like years of research, you fucking douchebag. I don't know, but then her shit gets taken away, and I don't know. But then, however, something else happens. Like, I don't remember exactly what happened. But then, I think at some point, like, yeah, he comes back. Thor comes back. It's the middle of the day, and then he's, like, in the street or something. He gets knocked out, and then there's this huge fucking robot that I think Loki built or something. Had something to do with Loki, and then fucking Thor just wakes up, and he wields his hammer once again because he's strong enough, and he just fucking beats the robot and beats Loki. And then there's a scene on the Bifrost. I think it was the Bifrost. It was, like, out in space or some shit. It was, like, the edge of the Bifrost, I think, and then Loki falls off, and then gets sucked into, he dies and gets sucked into the void of some shit, and then they all think he's dead, but no, he's not. And then that's all I remember of Thor. Thor, I would give a 7 out of 10. I really liked it. I enjoyed it, although I can't really remember too much, but you know. Alright, the Hulk. This one also came out in 2008. This one fucking sucked. I've only seen this once, guys. I know I said I've seen every movie at least twice, but I forgot about this one. I'm not even gonna go into in depth with this one. I don't fucking remember it at all. I just remember him being in a, like, this was not played by Mark Ruffalo. This was played by some other dude that I think ended up hating Marvel after this and shit. But yeah, something happens. He's, like, in the middle of, like, fucking India or some shit, and then he gets a call. He's like, what? Is there a cure for for my gamma poison, or whatever the fuck it was? And, that's literally all I remember. I just remember him getting mad and throwing shit in the city. Like, he goes back to some other place. I think he goes back to New York or some shit. Some other place. I don't know. I don't fucking remember the Hulk. I give it a 1 out of 10. I think it's the worst fucking movie in the MCU. Actually, though, I give it a 3 out of 10. No, 2. I give it a 2 out of 10. I'm changing my thing. No, 2.5 out of 10. It sucked. I wasn't memorable. I hated it. It sucked. Anyways, on to The Avengers of 2012. This is where we get to see all the 6 main Avengers at once, at the same time, for the first time. So they're all in New York, and forget how they meet. I think they meet through the Avengers. Oh, fuck, dude. I forgot to tell you guys, during Iron Man 1, that's when Iron Man 2 I meant, that's when we get to meet Black Widow for the first time. I forgot about that. Yeah, Iron Man 2, that's when Black Widow appeared and shit. Oh, and then Thor. I believe it was in Thor, that's when Hawkeye first appeared. I can't believe I totally forgot about that. Sorry, guys, that's unprofessional. Kind of, I guess. God, we're not even halfway. We're like a quarter of the way through, I think, or 3/4. So the Avengers, this is the movie where we see everybody come back together. I don't remember the exact why they came together to fight. I remember it was a fucking alien invasion sent by Loki. He used the second Infinity Stone to be shown, the Mind Stone, which Loki was sent by Thanos to collect, I think, some other stone. I think the Space Stone, I think. Or the Time Stone. No, not the Time Stone. The Space Stone, I believe it was. But then, you know, Captain America, Hulk, Thor, Hawkeye, and Black Widow, they all come back together. They all fight the aliens that are invading New York, and I remember the fucking The scene, the scene that I will never forget is when fucking Hulk meets fucking Loki, and he picks him up. He's just like fucking just like hitting him, like smashing him against the fucking ground all the time. And then after Loki's like, oh my god, he's like, holy fucking shit. That was funny. I like that part. That's like the only part that I kind of remember. Thanos sent Loki to get another stone for him. This is at the point where Thanos was trying to collect the stones, but not, like, by himself. He sent other people to do it. Then, they ended up joining each other. I think this is where we see... No, that was in Ultron. That was Age of Ultron, where we see the other one, the other dude's house. Hawkeye's house. I thought it was in the first one, but it wasn't. Nope, never mind. We're not there yet. We're almost... Yeah, then Tony, like, I think there was, like, a bomb or some shit that happened, and, rocket or something, I can't remember what it was something that was gonna explode, and then Tony, as Iron Man, he lifts it, and then he goes through the portal, and then he blows everything up, and then he, loses consciousness, and then right as the portal is about to close, he slips right through it just in time. And then Hulk grabs him before he smashes to the ground. And then he wakes up, he's like, what? You ever try shawarma? I fucking love that part. He's like, you ever try shawarma? That was actually completely improvised by Robert Downey Jr., by the way. That man is like the king of improv, in my opinion. He improvises most of his fucking lines. With some of it, not most, I don't remember. It was funny, though. But anyways, let's move on to, speaking of Iron Man, let's move on to Iron Man 3. This is in 2013. Now, I just remember this is the one where he meets that annoying fucking kid. Like, he's in the middle of, like, the cold. I remember oh yeah, the first it flashes back to New Year's Eve of 1999, where he's partying, and he meets this one chick, I can't remember the name, and then fucking, what's his name? It's the guy that plays, it's the Mandarin, but I don't remember his actual name. It'll come to me, don't worry. They always do, the names always come to me. Aldrin Killiage, or Killian Aldridge, one of the two. I think it's Aldrin Killage. Something, it's something along the line of that. Aldridge Killian, I think, is his name. Don't quote me on that, it's something, it's very close to that. But then he meets that guy, he meets the Mandarin, the Aldrin, I think his name is. And then he promises to meet him up on the roof, and then he never does, and then he cries. His Iron Man didn't show up. Anyways, then he, fucking... Oh, I forgot to give, the Avengers. I give the Avengers an 8 out of 10. I really liked it, even though I don't really remember too much. So when he's back to Iron Man 3, so then years and years later, the fucking Mandarin just remembers... And then, I remember the scene where Tony's just building more suits, and then he's, like, fucking remembering, he's remembering the Avengers movie where he went up in space and shit and almost died. And then some fucking asshole kid, him and, fucking Rhodey were having dinner, or lunch at some place. And then he's like, what was it like in the hole or something? And he's like, no, I'm done. Fuck you, kid. And he just punches him in the face. No, I'm just kidding. He didn't do that. That would be a much funnier movie if Tony just fucking punches the kid in the face. He's like, shut the fuck up. Don't mention that ever again. Don't mention it again, child. Anyways, then fucking... which I think is a stupid move on Tony's part. He leaves his Iron Man suit outside while it's open. Like, in the middle of the sidewalk where anybody can fucking take it. And I'm like, that's kind of stupid. If I were him, I would have taken it inside, or set it next to me or some shit inside. I don't know, maybe you couldn't bring it inside or some shit. I don't remember. But And then I remember he built like a new suit or some shit, and then I remember he got really pissed because these news people were saying something. And then Tony's like, you know what? Here's my fucking address. And he just exposes his address to literally everyone in the fucking world. So then he goes after his house. He almost kills Pepper. But Tony throws his suit onto, like his new suit onto Pepper to try to save her. And then once she's saved... Oh yeah, by the way, the woman at the beginning, she comes back. And for some reason, I can't remember. And then once Pepper's safe, his suit goes back onto him. And then he sinks to the bottom of the ocean, or close to the bottom, and then he just starts back up, and he's like... He just flies around and shit, and then... I think he just, then this is where he just flies and shit to, like, he ends up in the middle of, like, the freezing cold area. Like, he wakes up and it's freezing cold, he opens up his suit, and he just like, holy shit, it's cold. And then he tries to go back into his suit for warmth, but Jarvis was like, no, I'm shutting down, because I can't stand the cold or some shit. Because he's a pussy. No, I'm just kidding. No, but then, fucking... something else happened. I can't remember. Oh yeah, so then he comes across this little kid. I forgot his name. He's a fucking, like... I think he's like 8 years old or some shit. But then, he's like, holy shit, you're Iron Man. Oh my god. And then the fucking kid keeps bringing up New York. And he's like, dude... Do you not understand when somebody's having PTSD, you don't fucking bring it up? I'm like, yeah, you yell at that kid. Good on you, Iron Boy. Actually, I don't remember if I mentioned when Iron Man 3 came out. It was 2013. Avengers came out 2012, as everybody knows. I don't remember if I mentioned that. Anyways, so then, this kid helps Iron Man, he fucking just makes this thing happen, and then he finds out about the fucking, the real identity, he finds out that this, who the Mandarin is, it turns out to be, like, this old, like, small dude, but then he was like, oh, I'm not the real Mandarin, it's some other guy. He's like, what? So he finds out the real guy, and then he's like, ha, you remember me, douchebag? And then Tony's like, no. He's like, you son of a bitch, you will remember me. So then, this is skipping to, like, the ending and shit where, like, he's got Pepper hostage, like, that Aldrin guy, or whatever the fuck his name is. The Mandarin, he's got Pepper hostage and shit, and then he's like, oh, I'm gonna kill her if you don't do what I say, and then all these Iron Man suits just come in and just fucking attack him and shit. And then he ends up killing him, I think, at some point, and then Pepper, like, falls, because Tony fails to save him. But then, she gets fucking injected or some shit with the, that power where, like, like, the whole flaming thing, like how the Mandarin and his other fucking minions are. Like, if you lose a limb, then, like, all the fire things just, like, kind of happen, whatever. I can't remember the exact thing. And then he saves her at some point or some shit, like... No, yeah, Pepper, like, hits the Mandarin, or I think she's the one who kills him, actually. And then, like, somehow Pepper's cured of her fucking insanity or whatever the fuck it was. Then, fucking Iron Man just takes all of his suits and he's like, Jarvis? Initiate whatever, the fucking thing where he just blows up all of his suits, which, my opinion, is fucking stupid. If I was him, I would keep at least 1 or 2, maybe 3 suits. I'd keep a couple, or a few. Actually, no, I'd probably keep, like, maybe 10. I would love to keep all those suits. That would be cool. I actually tried building my own Iron Man suit one time, like, out of real metal, and it never worked, and I'm like, whatever. And then they kiss, and they're like, I love you too, blah, 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 shit happens. So, Iron Man 3, I give it another 7 out of 10. Most of these are gonna be like 7 and 8 out of 10, 7 or 8. Thor the Dark World, 2013. Now, this has been said to be the worst Marvel movie in, like, the history of Marvel Cinematic Universe, I think you guys are fucking wrong. Because I know I said Hulk was the worst, but, I mean, there's a worst one that's coming up pretty soon. Well, not on this page, because I wrote down a script of, like the Marvel movies in order that I want to talk about, and then I have 2 pages of these. We are on number 9. Number 16 is the fucking worst, in my opinion, which coincidentally people are saying that it's one of the best. And I'm like, how the fuck can you like that one? Thor: The Dark World. This is the movie that everybody hates, but I like a lot. I mean, I think the people who didn't watch, who said that it sucked, didn't watch it close enough. It was pretty fucking good. I just remember a couple parts that I want to say. This is the movie that introduces the third Infinity Stone, the Reality Stone, which is the red one. Oh yeah, space is blue. Mind is yellow, and then reality's red. So this one is where Jane Foster gets fucking injected with the Aether, which is also the Reality Stone. So the Aether and the Reality Stone are the same exact thing. Oh yeah, I forgot the fucking... And the Avengers, fucking... The Mind Stone is in the Loki's scepter, so there you go. And then this one, the Aether is the Reality Stone or some shit, I don't know. I think it just fucking... Because the Aether is liquid, but I think it hardens and then it becomes the stone. But yeah, this one, I just remember kind of the ending where Thor just like tries to beat the shit out of... I think, no. What was his name? Laufey or something? He's like, I think he's like the leader of the fucking, whatever the fuck I said before, the blue people, the Frost Giants. I think he was the leader of the Frost Giants. But then I remember at the end where like they're in some place and everything got destroyed and shit, and yeah, he had to do something with the teleporters or some shit. Like, yes, I really like this movie, but I don't remember it. I mean, it's been like a month or two. Like, if I'd seen all these movies fresh, like, literally today or yesterday or some shit, then I would have told you, I can tell you guys, like, right away what happened. But then, that's really all I remember. Then I remember he was on this other planet, and then I think Loki dies again, and then he just beats the shit out of other people, and then fucking, I think this is the one where Eric Selvig gets fucking arrested because he was naked and drunk in fucking the monument, or the Stonehenge or some shit. That was pretty funny. And I think it was funny how, Thor kept teleporting, and then fucking Mjolnir, you know, his hammer, like, kept, like, going up and down and up and down. He's like, what the fuck where are you going? I don't know. Anyways, I give Thor: The Dark World a 6 out of 10. I kind of liked it. It was, for me, it was above average. Kind of. Actually, no, it was average. It was average. I don't know. Now, the next one is a one that I really liked. Captain America: The Winter Soldier, 2014. Oh my god, we're not even halfway through this, and it's already been an hour. But don't worry, guys, I'll keep it strong. I won't end the stream until I get through all of it. Every single Marvel. In detail, or as good a detail as I want to tell it in. Captain America: The Winter Soldier starts off with Steve Rogers, aka Captain America, and Sam Wilson as the Falcon. Or Anthony Mackie as Sam Wilson as the Falcon. And they're running and running, you know, trying to do laps, and then Steve says the clever line, on your left. And every time he says it, the fucking Falcon gets pissed. Shit, and then, yeah, then after doing a couple laps, then Natasha Romanoff, aka the Black Widow, pulls up. And then it's a Black Widow in Captain America movie, which is nice. You know, and then they do some shit. I think they go on a boat. I think this is the one where they go on the boat and they try to hijack it because some people were like being held captive or some shit. And then, you know, he throws his shield at people like he always does and fucking beats the shit out of people. Something that kind of made me a little upset is that he threw his mask off, Captain America. He threw his mask off to fight that one dude. And then he just fucking takes his shield and just runs off to the next room. He didn't even get his mask back. I'm like, no. Anyways. Oh yeah, I guess I should. Nah, I'll do that later. But, and anyways, so then, I can't remember these movies too well. Even the ones that I liked a lot, I can't remember. I just remember the key points. Like, I remember the part where, like, this guy or these couple guys were trying to hunt them down and hunt Black Widow and Captain America down. And they fucking, like, they pretend to make out, like, at the mall, like, going down the escalator because they didn't want to get caught, you know, and shit like that. So and then I remember some guy at the end, I think it was this one. Oh yeah, I forgot, it's the one with soldiers, so this is the one where they meet Bucky again. Oh yeah, right. Some guy was like, oh no, yeah, I think Bucky was chasing them actually. Yeah, Bucky, like his face was hidden the whole time, and then you know, like on the scene, I think the bridge or something. Like there was a bridge, and then Steve was like, "Holy shit, it's Bucky!" And then he's like, "Who's Bucky? Who's Bucky?" And he just fucking ran away. And then, because his mind was wiped out or some shit. And I don't remember, I think there was a scene... No, that was in the first Avenger where he falls off the train. Never mind. I just got... Oh, cool, okay. Alright, so I just got a notification from Gmail that my application was sent in because I applied to another job today, which is good. You know, which actually, if I do to get a job, I don't know how many times I might do these streams. Then I'll probably do them as often as I can. But anyways, so yeah, that was the first movie. I think where he falls off the train. I remember Steve and Bucky climbing the train. I think that was for something else. I don't remember if that was Winter Soldier. I don't think it was. I think that was the first Avenger. And then, at some point, like, it was the end where, I don't know, fucking, it's revealed that Bucky was brainwashed, and he keeps getting brainwashed because he keeps remembering shit. I think this is the part where he had his, I think this is the movie where he had his metallic arm, or his robotic arm or some shit. I think it was anyways. But then, I just remember the end where Black Widow, like, she was wearing a mask and then she pulls it off, and she shoots this one evil guy. And then, I think that's... Oh yeah, then there was another thing where they were fighting. Bucky and Steve were fighting. And, yeah, they were fighting, and then Bucky finally remembers who Steve was, and then they stop fighting and shit. And... Oh yeah, because... No, and then Steve, like, falls in the water or some shit. And then... Bucky saves him, he returns him back to land, and then goes away, and then that's it, I think. God damn, those hell everywhere down here. But anyways, I think that's all I remember of fucking Captain America the Winter Soldier. I probably remember some other shit later. Captain America the Winter Soldier, I give a 7 out of 10. I liked it a lot. Oh boy, next up is Guardians of the Motherfucking Galaxy. So this one I really liked. This one starts off with Peter Quill, played by fucking Chris Pratt, the funniest man in the universe, in my opinion. Not really. There's other funnier people I think that are funnier. Then it's like when his mom is dying, because his mom had cancer and she was about to die, and his mom wanted him to like hold her hand or some shit, and then he kept crying. He didn't want to because he didn't want her to die, you know. And oh yeah, this came out in 2014. I forgot to mention that again, but anyways, then his mom dies, and then he cries his eyes out. He runs out, and he's outside, and then he just all of a sudden gets abducted. Which I kind of think is stupid that, like... I mean, it's explained more in depth in the second one. But I just think it was kind of stupid how he just ran out and then suddenly got abducted by aliens and shit. Or by Yondu. You know, the blue guy who thinks he's fucking Mary Poppins. No, that was in the second one. Which we're on the 11th one. There's 23 movies. So... almost a little less than halfway. No. Yeah, a little less. So this might be a 2-hour stream. Holy shit. I don't know. I'm going to try to get through these as fast as I can, but I won't be able to if I keep pausing and talking about other shit. So, then skips over to Peter as an adult now. And he's flying his own ship, I think it's called the Milano. I think that's what his ship is called. I know that's what it's called. I know for the fact that's what it's called, the Milano. But I don't remember if it was his ship or somebody else's. But then, you know, I think he ends up on Morag, I believe. And then he stumbles upon the Temple of the Power Stone, which is obviously where the Power Stone is. And I think he gets a key to it somehow, and then he fucking... Oh yeah, before he discovers it, he's just fucking singing Come and Get Your Love, which I like that song a lot. Like, I haven't heard about it before that movie, and I'm like, holy shit, this is a funny movie or some shit. What am I talking about? Anyways, so... then, something else happened. Oh yeah, then he finds the thing, he goes inside, he gets the Power Stone from the orb, and then I think somebody comes in, and they're like, or two people come in, and he's like, who the hell are you? And give back the power, the orb, and then he's like, I'm Star-Lord. And then he's like, who? You know, because he's like, oh, you've heard of me, I'm Star-Lord, you know. I don't know. Then he escapes, and then he goes on Xandar, and he's wanted. And then, you know, the fucking... yeah, he tries to sell it to this guy, and then he's like, what artifact is that? He's like, this is from the Temple of the Power Stone. He's like, no, this is too powerful. I might get arrested or some shit. I might get caught. So then I think Gamora was there, but I think she wanted the Power Stone, the orb, because of Thanos. You know, Gamora being Thanos' daughter, and she was... I mean, I think she wanted to help him at first, but then she was like, no way. So I think she was trying to get the Power Stone for Thanos. I'm pretty sure that's my theory. I don't remember. Anyways, so... then Rocket and Groot appeared because they're bounty hunters, and there's a bounty on Star-Lord's head for stealing the Power Stone. They all try to get him and shit, but then they all end up getting caught by the Nova Corps, which they get sent into like this jail. I think it was the Nova Corps, I think. But I don't know. They ended up on this fucking thing. I think, this is the part where we meet Drax, figure out his story, then he decides to help him, and then, you know, And then they go with fucking Nebula. The Nebula is shown and discussed and shit, and I don't remember, like, too much of it, but then I just remember, like, at the end, oh no, Ronan is trying to get after the Power Stone for Thanos. Yeah, duh. Oh my god. Forget what I said about fucking, oh no, actually, maybe Gamora, because I don't remember Ronan before Gamora. But I think Gamora was trying to help Ronan with some shit. I don't remember. I haven't seen it in forever, like a month or two. Just to me, it's kind of forever. But Ronan was trying to get it from him, and then because he discovered that he was going to keep it himself, because he was going to keep the thing to himself because he didn't realize there was an Infinity Stone, and he's like, oh, fuck you, Thanos. And then, at the end, the ending battle, fucking Star-Lord and Peter Quill, he dances to try to confuse him, try to confuse Ronan, and then at some point, oh yeah, I think before that, Groot actually dies, which is sad, but there is hope. Don't worry, I'll get to the ending. But so then, oh yeah, then Peter tries to hold the Infinity Stone, but it burns his hand, because no human can physically touch an Infinity Stone. So there's just way too much fucking power and shit in it. And then they all Gamora, Drax, Rocket, and I think that's it, all join hands and hold hands and shit, and which somehow defeats Ronan, I can't remember. But then that ends that and shit. Although, overall, I give Guardians of the Galaxy 1 an 8 out of 10. I really liked it. But anyways, Guardians 2 is next. God, we got fucking 11 more movies after this. Fuck. So anyways, Guardians 2... Oh yeah, I forgot, at the end of Guardians 1, Groot actually comes back, as a sapling. So then Guardians 2 begins off with baby Groot, dancing and shit, while Drax, Rocket, Gamora, and Peter all... oh, excuse me, that is really rude. But, they're all trying to fight this gigantic fucking thing, and then, Peter notices a fucking cut on his neck, because the thing's skin was too thick to cut through, so, they decided to do that. But then Drax, good old Drax, I love him, he decides to jump in the fucking monster's mouth and just fucking kill him from the inside. But then Gamora ends up fucking slitting the cut from his neck off, and then fucking killing the guy, and then there you go, and then at some point they find out that, I can't remember the exact... Oh, yeah. Yeah, they were trying to beat this one guy for these yellow people. I forgot what they're called, and then... But, Rocket actually stole some fucking batteries and shit from them. That was supposed to be, like, amazing and shit. And then they start trying to fight him, and Gamora just... not Gamora. Nebula just wants something to eat, but they don't feed her. But, oh no, she wanted this... She kept asking for this fruit, and it wasn't ripe yet. But, anyways, then... Fucking... The yellow people... they try to fucking fight him, and then they find this fucking... Or they jump to hyperspeed or some shit. And they end up on this weird planet that looks like Earth. They're like, fuck, we're stranded. But then, Rocket was like, hey, I saw this little man on a fucking thing. Like a 1-inch man, and they're like, are you serious, a 1-inch man? You saw a 1-inch man, and they're like, yeah. Well, from far away, and shit. And then the thing ends up coming down, and then good old Ego, the dickhead, but he's a good guy, for now. But then Mantis, the other fucking member, that later becomes a member. So Ego reveals himself as Chris's, not Chris, god damn it, I meant to say Peter. I keep thinking of his fucking voice, or not voice, his fucking actor. Anyways, he reveals him as Peter's father, and then, do all that shit. He reveals that, he sent Yondu to pick him up after his mother died, and shit, so that he can release him. And then at some point, Peter finds out that he's a Celestial, and shit. And then Rocket was supposed to watch Nebula, but then Yondu was trying to get the batteries from him. And then fucking Nebula escapes, and then she eats that fruit that she's been wanting to, and then she spits it out. She's like, it's not ripe yet. Which is like kind of the running joke, I guess. Then, they do all that shit, and then they figure out that Ego is evil. And he's the one who actually killed his mom, and then he got mad and shit, and then Yondu and everybody try to fight him. Then they go to the core, or they go to Ego's planet. Well, first, actually, they go to this other planet that Ego created. No bigger than Earth's moon, is what he said. But then Ego fucking was trying to fight Peter, and Groot was set on the task to fucking blow it up with the fucking detonator that was set for 5 minutes or explode if... and then Rocket got in a whole fucking argument like, if you press this button, we blow up. So don't press this button. Press this button, it'll give you 5 minutes. You press this button, we blow up instantly. Now what button you press? And then he's like, I am Groot. I am Groot. I am Groot. No! I fucking love that part. But anyways, then, they end up saving the day and shit. They blow up Ego. Then something with fucking Gamora and Nebula and shit, they do something. And I think, Nebula does some other shit. I can't remember exactly. Then Yondu dies, unfortunately, because he only had one spacesuit that Rocket gave him. Rocket gave him only one suit, and he gave it to Peter. He's like, you live on. I love you, boy. And then he just dies, and then they have a sad funeral. Overall, I give Guardians of the Galaxy 2, again, 8 out of 10. I loved it as much as the first. Oh, let's get on to Avengers Age of Ultron. So this one, I think there's, the whole... Oh no, that was Civil War, never mind. So this one, Tony builds another fucking thing. He builds, Ultron, but he wanted to be, this came out in, Guardians 2 came out in 2017, by the way. And then Age of Ultron came out in 2015. So, this one, Tony tries to build Jarvis like a body or some shit. And he builds Ultron, he builds him evil, he gains sentience, and he's like, I'm gonna kill people. He was supposed to... Oh no, I don't think he built Jarvis a body yet. I think, that was Vision. I know it was, but... No, he tried to build Ultron to protect people, but then he doesn't. Then he ends up fucking... No, and then Ultron... Oh no, then fucking Wanda Maximoff and her fucking brother, I don't remember his name. They end up being Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver, which Quicksilver ends up dying anyways. Scarlet Witch is okay. She's not too bad. But then, God, we're only on the second Avengers movie, and it's only almost an hour and a half. Fuck. Anyways. So then, I might actually have to fucking end it soon. I'm getting tired. I don't want to anymore. No, I gotta push through. Come on. Anyway, so Age of Ultron. Something to do with Vision. Vision is made of vibranium. and which is the strongest metal, which is what Cap's shield is made of, and then fucking Ultron tries to put himself in it. He puts the Mind Stone in, which is actually the Mind Stone is how Wanda and her brother got her powers and shit. I can't remember exactly how, some shit. But then, Thor comes in, gives him lightning, and then fucking somehow Vision is created with Jarvis in it. So it's Jarvis's body, but his name is Vision. And then, they try to track down Ultron. And then at some point they go to Hawkeye's house, meet his family and shit. Thor runs off to Asgard for some reason, and then, Hulk and Black Widow revealed to love each other and shit, and then they all go to Sokovia. Like, this is at the end where they all go to Sokovia. They all fucking try to beat him. Oh yeah, Thor comes back, by the way. And then they all try to beat the robots that Ultron made to try to kill everybody. And then, they ended up saving the day again, and then Hulk gets sent to another planet, and Natasha, or Black Widow, was talking to him, saying, like, I love you. And, like, don't go. But then he was stuck in his Hulk form. And then he just, like, rode off into space, and then he was never to be seen again. I'm probably missing a lot of that, but I just kind of want to speed things through. Get all the major points out of the way, because I'm starting to get tired. Stream is going on a little bit longer than usual. And we're only on the 14th movie of the fucking franchise. There's 9 after this. So Age of Ultron, otherwise I give a 7 out of 10. I liked it a lot. As I do with all these. Oh my god, my jaw's hurting, my voice. Now we're on to Ant-Man. This is 2015. So Scott Lang, he is a criminal. He kept getting into criminal activities with his fucking boy Louise. I fucking love the guy who does him. Louise is so much fun. The guy who plays him, I should say. But then, he meets Hank Pym. I think in his daughter Hope. I don't know if Hope was in this movie. I know she was in the Wasp one. The one with the wasp. No, then fucking he meets Hank Pym. He's like, hey, I'm the... No, they sneak into... No, yeah, I forgot. Scott... I think he gets a job at Baskin Robbins because he's like, hey, I'm a criminal, and then he gets fired for being a criminal. And then he's like, yeah, I'll do one more fucking heist. And then he goes into Hank's house, and then he steals his fucking Ant-Man suit, and then he uses it. He shrinks and has a lot of fun adventures. Then there's the Yellow Jacket. Then, some guy just, like, made a Yellow Jacket suit and then tried to fucking... Oh, yeah, I forgot. So, Ant-Man isn't allowed to see his daughter, Cassie. Or Cassidy, I can't remember her name. I think it's Cassidy. Cassie or Cassidy, one of the two. I think it's Cassidy. Anyways, enough of that. But he can't see his daughter Cassidy because, for some reason. Or, like, his ex-wife doesn't want him to see him for some reason. And there's, her new boyfriend or husband or some shit. I think it was her boyfriend. Like, he was a cop or something. But then Ant-Man was late for his daughter's birthday party. He just wanted to come by and give her a fucking toy and shit. And then, some guy made a Yellow Jacket suit and then became the Yellow Jacket and tried to fucking kill... He tried to take Cassidy for some reason. And then there was a giant ant at some point, which would freak me the fuck out because I hate bugs. Even if they're little. But anyways, then, Ant-Man and the Yellow Jacket, they shrink down, they fucking fight and stuff. It's funny because then at some point, Thomas the Tank Engine gets big and just fucking destroys Cassidy's womb. I don't know, it's funny. And then, fucking something else happens. Oh yeah, then fucking... I think, then fucking... Scott shrinks down and then fucking does something to the Yellow Jacket's fucking suit and shit. Then he gets sent to the quantum realm and then he comes back and he's like, oh my god. Anyways, Yellow Jacket's defeated. End of movie. Probably missing some other fucking things, but I don't care at this point. If I miss anything at all, I don't care anymore. I'm too tired. I just want to wrap this up quickly. Overall, I'll give Ant-Man another... Well, I give it a 7 out of 10. Another 7 out of 10. Oh, my God. We're at number 15. Thank God. So, yeah, this might be a 2-hour fucking stream. Who cares, though? I'm having fun. Whoops, sorry. I've just bumped into something. This one is Captain America Civil War. This is 2016. So this is the one that I was thinking of, earlier with, the fucking, Avengers Age of Ultron. So this is Captain America Civil War. Came out in 2016. Now this one is about, like, somebody, like, I forgot what it was called, but, like, these, things that are, it's like Tony and his group are, I think they're against or for, like, they're pretty much fighting, for, like, the rights for, like, if the Avengers have to pay for the damages that they cause, you know, like in New York. So there's Team Iron Man and Team Captain America. Oh yeah, duh. I was thinking, where's fucking... Oh yeah, I don't remember Thor being in this movie, so I don't think Thor was in here. And I was thinking, wait, what happened to Hulk? I'm like, oh yeah, duh, he's already away. Never mind. So this is the... Oh yeah, so, you know, the famous airport scene where they're all fighting and shit. This is the scene with Spider-Man. Well, Spider-Man, aka Tom Holland's fucking Peter Parker comes in and fights for Tony Stark's side, obviously. You know, that shit happened, and, you know, it was fun, they fought, and then this is where fucking Captain America is like, hey, oh no, like, Spider-Man actually, gives Captain America a pretty good beatdown. And then he's like, hey, where you from, kid? He's like, Queens. He's like, I'm from Brooklyn. You know, and then he fucking just fights him and shit. And then this is where he's like, holy shit, that's a cool metal arm that you got, you know, talking to the Winter Soldier about his cool fucking arm. And then he fights the Falcon. 2, he fights the Winter Soldier and Falcon. Spider-Man does. So yeah, then Ant-Man is I think he's on Iron Man's side, I believe. I can't remember exactly who's on whose side. I think Black Widow was on Iron Man's side too, and then Hawkeye was on... Hawkeye and Black Panther, because this is also where Black Panther appears. I think this is the movie where Black Panther's dad dies, I believe. Like some kind of explosion or somebody shot him or something. I can't remember. Anyway, so Black Panther and Hawkeye are on Captain America's side. I can't remember who else is on whose side. Oh yeah, I think Scarlet Witch is on Iron Man's side, I believe. Iron Man or Captain America, I can't remember. And then Bucky and Falcon are obviously on Captain America's side. I can't remember, but anyways. That's all I remember. I just remember them fighting a lot and shit. It was a superhero battle and shit. So overall, I give Civil War an 8 out of 10. See, like, pretty much all of these are going to be 8 out of 10 or 7 out of 10. Because they're just that good of movies. Oh boy, this is number 16. The one I told you guys about when we were reviewing Thor the Dark World. Black fucking Panther. This, I can't even explain this movie, because I just remember T'Challa and fucking Killmonger fighting, and like, I just remember Killmonger beating the shit out of him, you know, for the right to be the king and shit, and like, I remember the scene where T'Challa goes in to the fucking place. Oh yeah, Black Panther came out in 2018. And then I remember him, like, being in this other world with these Black Panthers and shit, and then Killmonger. He looks exactly like Black Panther, but like with gold around him and shit. That's literally all I remember. I fucking hate Black Panther. And it's not a race thing, it's just, it was fucking boring. Like, seriously, I could not get into it at all. I'm sorry for those who loved it. I hated it. I give it that's the one I give a 1 out of fucking... Actually, no, I give it a 2 out of 10. It did have pretty good action scenes, from what I remember, but overall, it fucking sucked. I hated Black Panther. Spider-Man Homecoming is next. This one came out in 2017. Guys, we're almost there. This is 6 more movies. Homecoming, this one is Spider-Man's first adventure in the MCU. God, we're going an hour and a half in. See, I plan this shit way too much, I think. Anyways, Homecoming. This is where Spider-Man goes out on his adventures and he meets... Oh yeah, this one he likes a girl named Liz. And who... Her dad turns out to be the Vulture, which is the movie, which he's one of my favorite fucking Spider-Man villains. Which we'll talk about the other one, my most favorite Spider-Man villain when we get to the last movie of the MCU so far. Anyways, so is it Michael Keaton? Yeah, I think his name is... I think the guy who played Vulture is Michael Keaton. He did a very good job. I like his wings and his suit and shit. Anyways, his whole backstory, Michael Keaton's backstory, or Adrian Toomes as he's known as, is he didn't like how, like, he had to clean up after all the Avengers and shit, and then I think, like, he got put out of a job because... like, the city was gonna clean up the shit instead of him or some shit, or the government, I think. Because it was all alien stuff. Because this is, around the time, this is at the time where the Avengers 1 happened, and they didn't want, like, the citizens to touch all the alien technology and shit. But then, Adrian, gets all the alien tech that he can, you know, like all the glowing crystals and shit that he can to try to make weapons and shit. And then the Tinkerer is in this movie too, which I don't really know him too well. I don't read the comic books, but the Tinkerer is familiar to me a little bit. He's slightly familiar. I just know that he makes weapons and shit in the Spider-Man universe. Then, the Shocker is also in this movie. Which, speaking of the Shocker, yes, I know, I'm getting behind in my Spider-Man PS4 fucking thing, and the Shocker is the last boss that I fought. I know, guys. Don't have to keep yelling at me. Wait, did I just get another... No, I didn't. Okay, I thought I got another notification. But anyways, so... fucking something else happens. Oh yeah, then he's just fucking... Oh yeah, Michael Keaton somehow finds out that Peter Parker is Spider-Man, and that because he likes his daughter. Because Liz's dad is the Vulture. And, you know, they fight at the end and shit like that, and Iron Man keeps getting involved. I remember there was a boat that got split in half. Oh yeah, and I forgot Mac Gargan, aka the Scorpion, is in this movie too. But he wasn't in his, like, Scorpion suit, so... Scorpion is in this movie, just not in his full suit yet, which... I'm pretty fucking excited if they ever do a, fucking Sinister Six movie. I would definitely see that, like, a million times. Because... Actually, I'm gonna tell you guys really quick, my version of the Sinister Six... I want it to be, Doc Ock, Rhino, Scorpion, Mysterio, Electro, and Vulture. Those are the ones that I would love to see as a live-action Sinister Six, but it probably won't happen that way. But anyways, when Spider-Man fucking saves the day at some point, and Oh yeah, and this is one the movie where they move all the stuff from the old Avengers Tower to the new one. That appears in Infinity War, I think it first appears, or Endgame. I can't remember. Actually, I can't remember. No, it appears. No, yeah, I think it does. Anyways, we're almost done, guys. Don't worry. So then Spider-Man kicks his ass and he goes to jail. And then that's where he sees Mac Gargan again. He's like, so you want to kill the spider too, huh? and there's a little Easter egg where if you see on the guy who plays Mac Gargan, he has a little scorpion tattoo on his neck. So he is the Scorpion. Anyways, overall, I give Spider-Man Homecoming a 9 out of 10. That's just because Spider-Man is my all-time favorite superhero. I fucking love him. So he gets higher just because he's my favorite. You guys better wait till Endgame and Far From Home for my ratings on those. But anyways, let's move on to Ant-Man and the Wasp. 2018 is when this came out. So this is the movie where Ant-Man is like he's almost up with his he was on house arrest for 2 years and his thing is almost up. His time, so he couldn't leave his house, or otherwise, the people would call. I've seen this movie like 3 or 4 times, so I know this movie pretty well. But I'm not going to go too in-depth with it, because I kind of want to wrap this up pretty quick, because my voice and my jaw are starting to get tired. I'm starting to get tired. You guys are starting to get tired, even though there's nobody watching, but, I mean, I'm just saying for afterwards. Anyways, so Ant-Man and the Wasp. So this one, he is I think he's like 2 or 3 days away from finally being released. Then Hope calls him back or some shit, and Hank, and so pretty much the whole plot is Hank, Hope, and Scott have to all get fucking Janet, which is Hope's mother, and Hank's wife, out of the quantum realm because they heard that he went there and came back alive, And then so pretty much they fight the villain is a chick called the Ghost, because she keeps like passing through walls and she's in so much pain and shit. And I think she needs like Janet's soul or some shit. I can't remember why she needed Janet or whatever. I don't even think she needed her, but I don't know. The whole premise is like they finally get Janet out at some point because Hank shrinks down to the quantum realm. He saves her because it was like once in a lifetime, or like once a century or something. They'd have to wait like a whole another like 100 years or some shit. Yeah, that shit happens, and then they save Janet. Everybody's back together. Hank, actually, so at this point, Scott Lang and Clint Barton / Hawkeye are both under house arrest, so that's why he wasn't in, like, Infinity War. Because this is supposed to be after Infinity War, but also before, because, everybody's alive and not dusted yet. But yeah, anyways, then Scott is a free man now, even though the government was suspicious of him being out, but yeah, so Scott Lang is a free boy now. But then, I can't remember. Oh yeah, then Scott Lang, he gets stuck in the quantum realm for some reason. So this is like at the time. Wait a sec, this doesn't make any sense. Oh no, it kinda does. Because I'm thinking now, because this is when Scott gets stuck in the quantum realm for 5 years, but to him it felt like 5 hours. But then everybody's dusted, because Hank and Hope didn't get a chance to release him. I can't remember why he was in there, but anyways, I give Ant-Man and the Wasp another 7 out of 10. Anyways, so Doctor Strange 2016. This one was amazing. Benedict Cumberbatch is a fucking great actor. And the thing that really surprised me, and this surprised me too with Tom Holland, I didn't know they were both British. They do amazing American accents. Like, fucking, especially, like, I can hear it slightly in Tom Holland's voice, him being a British boy. I thought he was American, and I thought Benedict Cumberbatch was American too, but, he's British. I didn't know he had a British accent. He does a great American accent. So, Doctor Strange, this is a movie about a doctor named Stephen Strange, and he's a very good doctor, but he was driving somewhere, and then he got distracted, and he accidentally, he was kind of a dick anyways at first, because he yelled at his girlfriend or some shit, or wife or whoever. I think it was his girlfriend or partner or some shit. Not partner as in, Anyways, so he drives off the road because he gets distracted, and he goes to the hospital. He's all bruised up, and his fingers and hands, fucking get disfigured and broken. He can't use them. And then over time, he learns to use his hands again. Then he goes and sees... He's in therapy, physical therapy, and then he finds out about the Ancient One, and then he finds the Ancient One, and then he's like, teach me. And then so she eventually teaches him. She says no at first, and then she teaches him all the magic, and then he eventually learns how. Because the Ancient One traps him in fucking a cold land, where it was all snowy and shit, and then... He finally learned how to do the portals and shit, and he got back. Then he was running around because this one guy... It was like some kind of weird mirror dimension or some shit, like he came from. Because the Ancient One was pulling her power. Because she's like 500 years old or some shit, and she's so young and she's still alive. And then... she was pulling her energy to keep young and stuff in that dimension. And then these dudes come from that dimension. And then, I don't know, something else happens. And then Doctor Strange, he was in a library researching about the portals and shit. And then he stumbles upon an artifact. The Eye of Agamotto, a.k.a. the fifth Infinity Stone, the Time Stone, the green one. Oh yeah, and Power was the purple, I forgot to mention that. But he stumbles upon the green Time Stone, and he eats an apple, and he's like, what the hell? And then he uses the Time Stone to reverse it. Reverse it before he ate it, and then go forward in time where it's all eaten and shit. He does that. And then Wong comes in, he's like, don't touch that. And he's like, oh shit, whatever. So, he uses the Time Stone, he does a bunch of Doctor Strange shit, and then then while he's fighting these dudes, in the Sanctum Sanctorum, this red robe comes off the fucking thing, and, his living robe, not robe, I meant fucking cape. That's what I meant. His living cape comes on him. Then that whole thing, and then I forgot how it ends. But yeah, it pretty much ends just with Doctor Strange being Doctor Strange, just helping people. Oh yeah, then it ends with him recruiting Thor or some shit. I don't think he was recruiting him, but he was talking to Thor and Loki. I don't know if he was talking to Loki, actually. I remember Thor being there. But this is the post-credit scene, Thor was there, and he was drinking, I think alcohol or some shit or whatever. He poured him a nice drink, and he's like, hey, would you like to do blah 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 with me? And he's like, yeah, sure, blah blah blah. I give Doctor Strange another 8 out of 10. Thor Ragnarok. This was I think this is the best Thor movie I've ever seen. This one starts off, I think it has a little cameo by Doctor Strange. The meeting after Doctor Strange, in the end credit scene. But this time he's got Loki with him and shit. And so, somehow Loki and Thor, they go back to Asgard and shit, but then Oh no, it starts off as Thor with his long, beautiful blonde hair. Yeah, I forgot he's trapped in this fucking thing and he's just swinging because he's like trapped. And, he's talking to this one big giant fire monster god or whatever, and he's just cracking jokes every 5 seconds. Then eventually, and then he uses his hammer to free himself and then fucking beats him or some shit. That whole thing. And then, at some point he meets his sister, his long-lost sister Hela. Hela, I think her name is. Which he throws his hammer at her, and she catches it and breaks it. So that's the end of Mjolnir. And then she tries to take over Asgard, and then somehow Thor and Loki end up on some other world with a person named the Grandmaster, who specializes in fighting people, like with people fighting other people. But with one thing, he had to shave his hair, like get his hair cut, which is where the short-haired Thor comes from, Anyways, then Hulk comes out surprisingly, and then tries to fight him, and he's like, "Yes, we know each other. He's a friend from work." Which, a little trivia, this kid from, I think, Make-A-Wish, actually told Thor to say that line. He's like, "Hey, wouldn't it be funny if he said this line in the movie?" And he's like, "Oh, that's a neat idea, boy." Yeah, so that's where that line came from. But then he met a person named Valkyrie, which helped him out a lot and shit, and that whole thing. And then fucking Hulk and company. Fucking Hulk gets back to Bruce Banner at some point, and he's like, "Where the fuck am I? I'm on another planet. Oh my god." And he finds Loki, and he's like, "I know you." Like, Valkyrie was like, "Who's this guy?" And they're like, I feel like I know you. Like, I feel like I know you too. That's weird. Ho, because they know each other, But then she finds out who he is. Because, like, at the end, while they're trying to get all the Asgardians back to, like, on a huge ship, because they somehow escape, the one thing, the planet, and then oh yeah, Hulk is, like, fighting this one guy, this one, like, giant dog or bear, whatever it was, and trying to fight people off, like, the army and shit. And then while that's happening, Thor is on fucking, like, he's trying to defeat Hela, but then she takes his eye out. I think it's his right eye. Yeah, his right eye out. And then the most badass scene. Oh no, because she's like, "What are you the god of again?" And then he, like, "Thunder," and then fucking like hits her or some shit. But then the most badass scene, in my opinion, was fucking that one song where it just goes, "Ah," that fucking song. Well, Thor was just like using Mjolnir. No, he didn't use Mjolnir. No, I think he just beat the shit out of people with his fists, I think. Oh no, thunder and lightning and shit. And he just fucking going across the Bifrost, just beating the shit out of people. And then he summons the big fucking monster, whatever, and fucking destroys Asgard while destroying. He kills Hela while destroying Asgard in the process. But he has everybody in the fucking ship going to Earth. Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention, I think it was Thor: The Dark World, Odin dies at some point, I think. Forgot to mention that. But anyways, I give Thor Ragnarok a 9 out of 10. I enjoyed it a lot. I enjoyed it that much. It deserves a 9. Oh my god, guys, we're down to our final 3 movies. Infinity War, Endgame, and Far From Home. Oh yeah, Thor Ragnarok, if I didn't say, came out in 2017. Oh boy, Infinity War. Here we go, boys and girls. Infinity War came out in 2018. You guys know the whole story. I'm kind of gonna gloss over like a few key points. I'm just gonna say the main points in Infinity War and Endgame since there's so long of movies. And I'm tired. I've been doing this shit for like almost 2 hours. I'm usually done by now, like a half hour ago or something. Anyways, so it starts off with Thor and Loki and all the rest of the Asgardians and Hulk fucking in the ship going, and then they meet Thanos. Thanos comes in. He's got the Infinity Gauntlet. He fucking kills Loki. He already has the Power Stone. He killed everybody on Xandar. He killed all the Nova Corp to get the Power Stone, which is the purple one. And then he kills Loki and Heimdall, which is the black guy who fucking beams people up from different planets to get back to Asgard or some shit. Then fucking Thanos grabs the Tesseract, he smashes it, and he gets the Space Stone, you know, the blue one, and he puts it in. He's like, yes. And then this is before he had the Space Stone. So Hulk tried to fight him, and Hulk failed, and then he got the Space Stone, and then he beams off somewhere, I think to nowhere. And then Thor's casted out. He's presumably dead. Oh no, yeah, and I forgot. In Heimdall's last breath, he opens up the gate and sends Hulk through it so he can tell everybody on Earth about him. Tell the Avengers. Then Hulk gets there. He smashes through the roof of the Sanctum Sanctorium, surprising Doctor Strange and Wong and shit. And then he tells him about Thanos. Then fucking what's his name? Fucking Doctor Strange recruits Tony Stark, aka Iron Man. And Pepper and Tony are planning on getting married. So Doctor Strange comes in and says, "Hey, we got a problem." And he's like, "Who the fuck are you?" He's like, "Don't worry about that." Oh no, he's like, "I'm Dr. Stephen Strange." Anyways, then he tells them all about the Infinity Stones and shit like that, and he's like, "And we have the Time Stone, the green one." And then, talking about ice cream flavors, which is funny. And then it cuts to fucking the characters of Guardians of the Galaxy running into Thor. And then they bring Thor in. He awakens because Mantis wakes him up, and then he's like, "Who the hell are you?" And then he's like, "Thanos is on his way to collect all Infinity Stones. He already has the Power and Space Stones. The Time and Mind Stones are on Earth, and the Reality Stone is on nowhere, and nobody knows where the Soul Stone is." But anyways, then fucking Gamora tells him that he's the daughter. She's the daughter of Thanos. Well, Drax is like, "She's the daughter of Thanos." He's like, "You son of a bitch." So then they're all like, "We got to go to nowhere." Because I can't remember his reasoning why. Oh yeah, I think Thor was like, "Hey, yeah, the reason why he's only going after the Reality Stone is because it's with the Collector on Nowhere, because nobody knows where the Soul Stone's at, and the Time and Mind are on Earth, and he's got people going after them." Which this is where Spider-Man comes in too again, and the giant donut and the Squidward line from fucking Tony Stark, and then so Tony, Peter, Parker, and Doctor Strange are all on this donut thing flying to fucking Titan. Then the Guardians team go to so Drax, Gamora, fucking the other dude, Drax and Mantis go and find Thanos on nowhere, collecting the Reality Stone and shit, and then Thanos notices them, takes Gamora hostage, and then beams off to try to get the Soul Stone. Meanwhile, fucking Rocket, Thor, and Groot went to this other place where the fucking guy, the small midget dude from fucking Game of Thrones, is the fucking, I can't remember his name, but you know, and then that's when fucking Stormbreaker is fucking created and shit. And then, you know, they get that, and then Groot's arm is to handle, and then that's how that happens. And then Thor, Rocket gives him... Oh, yeah, before that, while they're on their way, the Rocket gives Thor his brand new eye, so that he can see now. Anyways, then we're back on Vormir, where fucking Red Skull is there, and then Thanos is like, yeah, we want the stone, and then he's like, you gotta sacrifice the person you love the most, and then he throws Gamora off the fucking cliff, and then he gains the Soul Stone. And he's like, yes, but also, no, my daughter! My daughter! Man, I don't remember where fucking Nebula's at in all this. I don't remember where she's at. I think she's with fucking... She's somewhere. Nebula is somewhere. I can't remember. But, oh yeah, she's trapped in some other thing. I forgot, yeah, she was shown before he got the stone, the Soul Stone. But anyways, and then, Thanos beams to Titan, which is where, the Guardians of the Galaxy crew find Tony, Peter, and Doctor Strange, and then they all meet up, and they're on Titan. Then fucking Thanos just beams in, using the Space Stone to teleport, and he's like, give me the Time Stone, and then they have this big battle. And then Doctor Strange, Tony Stark is pretty damn close to dying, which does a lot of dying in the next movie. Spoiler. Anyways. So to save Tony's life, Doctor Strange actually gives him the Time Stone for his life, and he's like, why the fuck did you do that, man? Oh yeah, then meanwhile, back on Earth while that whole thing was going on, everybody was fighting. Bruce can't get into his Hulk form. Captain America and fucking Black Widow and Black Panther and all the other people of Wakanda, fucking Scarlet Witch and Vision were there. Thanos comes back and he's like, no, you will not, I will win, and then he fucking, so Scarlet Witch she destroys the Mind Stone, but then Thanos is like, nope. Oh no, like he fucking beats all the other people first, and then he reverses time, he grabs the Time Stone, rips it out of Vision's head, killing him again, and then collecting all the Infinity Stones, Thor comes in with Stormbreaker, hits him in the chest, and he's like, I told you you'd die for that. And he just pushes the thing in further into his chest, and then Thanos is like, you should have gone for the head. And then he snaps. And then he gets transported inside of what people are thinking as is the Soul Stone. And because he talks to Gamora, and he's like, I think it was baby Gamora. Because, yeah, they did a whole backstory of Gamora and shit, and why she is Thanos' daughter and shit like that. So, you know, then that happens, and then he gets back to reality, and then Thor's like, what did you do? And then he just fucking uses the Space Stone and just goes away. And then one by one, everybody starts getting dusted. Starting with Bucky Barnes / the Winter Soldier, then Groot, Black Panther, and these aren't the exact order. Then fucking Scarlet Witch, I remember, then one of the black ladies, I can't remember her name, from Black Panther. Then probably gonna miss a lot of these. Then I remember Spider-Man, that was an emotional one. For me, anyways, and for Tony Stark. That was sad. Then, fucking Drax gets dusted, then Mantis gets dusted, and Peter, Quill, then a lot more people, I can't remember. Oh yeah, this is where Hank and Hope get dusted too. So I guess while Infinity War was going on, Ant-Man was going on, Ant-Man and the Wasp. Which for some reason it had it list Ant-Man and the Wasp, then Doctor Strange, then Thor Ragnarok. Which makes no sense to me, but that's how it was listed. I don't know. Anyways, half the people get dusted. I know MJ and Ned, they got dusted too. I remember that from Far From Home. Then the only ones left on Titan are Nebula and Tony. And then Nebula's like, he did it. He won. Then all that other shit. So, that's pretty much Endgame. Not Endgame, Infinity War, sorry. Now we're on the big bad boy of the fucking MCU. We are on Endgame. Now this one was a very long movie. I liked it though. I've seen it like a lot of times. So we're just gonna go gloss through most of it. So Endgame starts off with it starts off with Hawkeye and his family and shit. Showing what Hawkeye's been doing, and then, his wife, I can't remember her name, but I know who plays her, so Linda Cardellini, says, hey, dinner's ready, and then Hawkeye's like, yeah, I'll be there in a minute, and then he just turns around, and then everybody gets dusted. His whole family got dusted, he lost everything. And then 5 years later, after the snap, everybody's, fucking gone. The whole world is all sad. Then they have this whole meeting and shit of why people are doing all this shit, why people are sad and all that. Then at this point, I think Ant-Man gets released from the quantum realm, and he's like, what the fuck happened? And then he goes around, he's like, everybody got dusted, what the hell? What the hell happened? And then he goes to his daughter's house, or, her old house, and he sees that she's all grown up and she's still alive, and he was like, oh my god, Cassidy, you're still alive. But anyways, then he tries to go find the rest of the Avengers and shit, and then he goes to him about time travel. So then, then they go to Tony's house, which is revealed that he has a daughter, a 4 or 5-year-old daughter named Morgan Stark. And he married Pepper. They have a nice little family. And shit like that. So, that whole thing. And then fucking Black Widow finds Hawkeye being, trying to kill more people and shit. As Ronan, I guess, is his name. Even though he's the same guy from the fucking Guardians of the Galaxy 1. Anyways, then he, he's like, what? Time travel? And then, they do a whole time travel thing. Hulk is every single Avenger that is still around. See, Thor, Rocket, Nebula. Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you guys. Then, at the beginning, Captain Marvel fucking appears, of course, because she's weird. Oh yeah, so Captain Marvel comes, and she's the one who rescues Nebula and Tony, because they're on a ship, and then they get back to Earth, and that's how it happens. Oh yeah, and then I forgot the whole beginning part. So, all the Avengers except for Tony, they go find Thanos, they find him, and they fucking kill him. But they find that all the stones are gone because he reduced them to atoms because he didn't want them to be he didn't want the temptation of them being around. So they kill Thanos and they learn that it's too late, So that's the whole story. I forgot all about that beginning. Sorry, guys. Anyways, jumping back to this, then, so Thor, Nebula, Rocket, Tony, Black Widow, Captain America, Hulk, Hawkeye, and whoever else I'm fucking missing. Oh yeah, Ant-Man, he's there too, obviously. Fuck, I'm probably missing some other people. Oh yeah, War Machine, he's there too. Anyways, so then they all go to different places. So Iron Man, Captain America, and Ant-Man, they all go back to 2012. Oh no, Hulk goes with them too. So Hulk, Iron Man, Captain America, and Ant-Man go back to 2012 because Captain America is supposed to get the scepter, Loki's scepter, to get the Mind Stone. Hulk is supposed to get the Time Stone. And Ant-Man and Iron Man are supposed to get the Space Stone. So Hulk ends up getting the Time Stone. Ant-Man, Captain America ends up getting the Mind Stone. So the Time and Mind Stones are already got. But Tony and Ant-Man failed to get the Tesseract, or the Space Stone. So Captain America and Tony, they go back to 1940 where there's another Tesseract that they can steal with more pin particles because they only had enough to go back and, to go back in time and then go back to the present time because they only had 2 for each person. But there are more pin particles back in the 40s so that they can go back. Because Ant-Man specifically said there's no redos, no do-overs, So then, Rocket and Thor go back to Thor the Dark Worlds area to get the Aether. Thor, he's a fat guy now because he was all depressed and shit. And then Thor, he meets his mother again. This is before she died. And then while that's going on, Rocket finds fucking Jane in her room on Asgard. And he takes the Aether out of her. Takes a little bit of the Aether out of her. And then, gets the fucking Reality Stone. And they're like, come on, Thor, let's go. And then jump to Morag, where Nebula and War Machine get the Power Stone. They fucking knock Peter out and get the key and then go in. But then Nebula gets trapped there because after War Machine goes back, she gets stuck because she was picking up on the interference from, the 2014 Nebula, which is how Thanos found out about the plan. Thanos from 2014. And then somehow she goes back, I guess. Oh no. They find her, they capture her, and shit like that, and they just interrogate her or some shit. Anyways, then what stone is left? Oh yeah, Hawkeye and Black Widow go to Vormir. They actually went with Nebula and War Machine, and then they got in their own ship and flew to Vormir. Since none of them has actually physically gone there, But anyways, then oh yeah, so then they had to sacrifice one of them. Hawkeye should have been thrown off because I don't like Hawkeye. He sucks. Then, at the end, Black Widow ended up being the sacrifice because they both loved each other a lot. And Black Widow died, unfortunately, and, but Hawkeye got the Soul Stone. He went back, and everybody came back safely. Except for the Nebula that came back was the 2014 Nebula, not, the 2000... Well, this will be 2023 at this point. Which, God, that's only 3 years away. That's sad. Anyway, so then, that whole thing happens. They put the thing on they put the stones in this one area on a gauntlet that Tony made. Wait, I hear people. Who the fuck is up there? Anyway, so the gauntlet that Tony made, they get the stones back on, and Hulk snaps everybody back into existence. And then, everybody's back. And then 2014 Gamora, Nebula, that's who I meant, fucking comes in and she sends Thanos and his whole army from the past to the future, to get the stones and be like, hey, I got him, And then they have this whole thing, the whole epic battle. Then, the most incredible scene where every single Avenger, Captain America, who's on your left, and then he sees fucking Falcon swoop in from the portal and shit. And literally every single Avenger fucking pops out. You guys know the infamous portal scene at the end of Endgame. Yeah, then you know what else happens. Everybody fights. Then, Thanos eventually, even Captain Marvel, because she sucks, even had a fucking thing in it. But then, she tried to get it away from him, but then she failed because she sucks. She's one of the worst heroes. And then, so Thanos gets the gauntlet, he puts it on, he's like, I am inevitable. And then he tries to snap, and then nothing happens, and then all the stones stick to Tony Stark, and he's like, and I am Iron Man. And then he just fucking kills Thanos, and everybody gets dusted, killing Tony Stark in the process. And then everybody is at Tony's funeral. Rip Iron Man. Iron Man is dead. And that, my boys and girls, is how the Endgame ended. Alright, on to Far From Fucking Home. This is the final movie in the MCU thus far. I know Black Widow's coming out in May. But anyways, guys, Far From Home starts off with everybody coming back. Everybody coming back to fucking life. And it actually shows fucking footage of everybody getting dusted and everybody coming back, which kind of freaked me out a little, because it's like, holy shit, that would be scary if that actually happened. But anyways, then, so, this is a Peter and MJ story. He tries to fuck MJ, with Ned by his side. Like, literally, Ned is like, God, will you two knock it off for 2 seconds? Fucking, literally right beside him. But no, anyways, so, oh, fuck, I gotta wrap this up quick. My phone is at 15%, god damn it. I gotta wrap this up quickly. Luckily, this movie isn't too, long. But anyways, so Peter and MJ and Ned and all his class, they get to go to a trip to France or Paris or something? God, I forgot where they went. They went somewhere. I think they went somewhere in France. But yeah, and then the whole movie is about Peter trying to fuck MJ. And then in the background, Nick Fury is here. Hooray! So then Nick Fury. Oh, I forgot to tell you, Endgame came out in 2019, obviously, and Far From Home came out also in 2019. Yeah, so this is also, fucking Peter's sad about Tony Stark's death, and everybody's like, hey, you're the new Iron Man and shit, which, if anybody should be the new Iron Man, it should be somebody else. It should be fucking Morgan, his daughter. But anyways, then he goes to a trip, and then he meets Nick Fury there, which... Spoiler alert, is actually a school. Nick Fury and Maria Hill, which I think her name is Kobe Smulders, I think her name is. Her name is kind of hard for me to pronounce. She played Robin on How I Met Your Mother. She's fucking hot. Anyways, Maria Hill and Nick Fury, they're both pretending both actually Skrulls. Because at the end, Nick Fury's actually revealed to be on, like, a Skrull planet, and he's like, fucking goddamn it. So Nick Fury didn't actually get dusted, I don't think. I think it was the Skrull version of him, and Maria Hill got dusted. Like the Skrull versions, I believe. I don't know about Maria Hill, I don't know. Strange woman, I guess. But then, Peter meets Quentin Beck, aka Mysterio, aka also known as my all-time favorite Spider-Man villain. But anyways, and that suit is amazing. I fucking love the helmet and everything. Anyways, then, he fucking tells Peter about these elementals and shit, and then Peter and Mysterio team up to try to fight him and shit, and they fight the water guy, and then they fight, at the very beginning, they're in New Mexico, fighting the Sandman, the MCU's version of the Sandman. Then Mysterio is caught by everybody fighting, Hydro Man, the MCU's version of Hydro Man. And then they go to the middle. So this is like kind of in the middle of the movie. Like, he wanted to be with MJ at a play, but the carnival, something was wrong with the carnival, and Ned and his girlfriend, because he had a girlfriend, snuck out to be on the fucking thing, the park or the film, I meant, to the carnival. But then Molten Man shows up, the version of the Molten Man. And then, Spider-Man tries to do that. And the funniest thing, Ned is like, oh my god, it's Night Monkey. And I'm like, what the fuck? What the fuck, Ned? But, and then all this time, fucking Mysterio's just all acting like a good guy, like he does in the comics. I know that. I know in the comics he does bad things and then tries to, like, make himself look like the good guy. I know that much. But the suit looks fucking amazing. Like, I actually tried to make a Mysterio suit one time, and it didn't really turn out too well. Then, guys, the, fucking Mysterio, he was fighting and shit. But then Peter was on the bridge with MJ at night, because they snuck out, because Peter was like, I need to tell you something, meet me by the bridge. And then they go, and then he's like, because he was gonna tell her that he has feelings for her, but then she was like, you're Spider-Man. And he's like, what? No? He's like, come on, really? Everybody knows you're Spider-Man. Something like that. And then I forgot how they find out, but then I think MJ finds out that, like, Mysterio is a fake, and he's just using illusions and holograms, like he, does in the comics. I know the comic book version of Mysterio kind of good, because I did research on him. I mean, you would do research on your favorite villain, right? It turns out that he's just a fake. Oh, and also, Tony leaves Peter with these, Edith glasses. Even dead, I'm the hero. Because, him and his acronyms. And then, but it turns out, because there's this one part where Quentin Beck and Peter Parker were in the, they were in some diner or something, which turned out to be a complete fake, turned out to be a huge illusion, because Mysterio wanted the glasses to himself, so that, because he was pissed at Tony for calling it both, like the acronym, because he worked so hard on those glasses, and finally got him, and then, he was making all these illusions and shit. And then fucking the wind one, I think his name is Cyclone in the comics. I think he happened at some point, and then, the Mysterio was going after all of Spider-Man's friends to try to fucking kill him. And, at some point they were trying to fight him, and then all these drones and shit were happening. Then they were on the bridge, and Peter, you can feel Peter's pain. He's like, God damn it, Mysterio. And then they were on this one fucking thing, and he kind of figured out, oh, no. Before that, the best fucking part in this movie is the illusion scene, where Mysterio traps Peter in this huge fucking illusion. And he, like the scene where he just has like the whole bunch of mirrors and a whole bunch of Spider-Mans attacking him, and then like the whole like army of Mysterios just walking, and then the fucking statue falling on him and shit like that. That one was fucking awesome. That part literally made me happy, and I was like, wow. And then he tried to punch Mysterio, but then he punched a wall. Like Mysterio was fucking pissed. Like I've never seen Jake Gyllenhaal in any other movie, but Jake Gyllenhaal really fucking sells it as Mysterio. Like I can actually feel like him being actually pissed off at Spider-Man, for all the shit. I can't remember exactly what he did, but I don't know. But then, eventually at the end, Peter fucking kills, or quote-unquote kills, Quentin Beck, because I heard that in the comics, like, he fakes his death all the time, and shit like that, because Peter, he got smart, he knew where his illusions were, and, like, which Mysterio was an illusion, and which was the real one. But then, the cool thing at the end, in the end credit scene, the second, or the first one, because I think there was two of them, but the first one was, good old J.K. Simmons reprising his role as J. Jonah Jameson, which I thought was pretty cool. Then, fucking, what's his face? Oh yeah, Quentin Beck, like, he made a video as he was dying, quote-unquote dying, saying that Spider-Man's real name is Peter Parker. And then, he was dead. Quote-unquote dead, but they did some, I assume his henchman, Quentin's henchman, or himself, Mysterio himself, actually, edited the video, high-quality video editing to make it look like Spider-Man was the bad guy and that he was the good guy, a final fuck you to Spider-Man, pretty much. So now at this current point in time, there's only 23 movies, and the latest one, Far From Home, everybody knows Spider-Man's name. And that is the end of Spider-Man, aka the end of the MCU right now. Actually, I do have 24 movies up on this script. Black Widow 2020. But that movie's not out yet, but the trailers look fucking amazing, by the way. So anyways, guys, I've been talking for almost 2.5 hours. My phone is at 9%. We've had 0 viewers this entire podcast, which, who cares? But anyways, guys, my voice is hurting, your ears are bleeding, my jaw hurts, I'm tired, you guys are tired, your guys' ears are bleeding, I'm pretty sure. So with that, I think I will finally end this fucking podcast right here, guys. An hour over my normal limit. But anyways, guys, thank you guys so fucking much for watching and enjoying and liking and subscribing, and I will see you guys on my next podcast tomorrow night, so be sure to stay tuned, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Good night, everybody.